15 indications that indicate brain death has occurred. Initial indication. You can't keep up a conversation with young people. Second clue. Do not comprehend the significance of recent terms and not even commence to forget their typical old-fashioned words they would normally use. In the third position, you are currently losing your way in the vicinity of your permanent place of residence. So after a while you go out and see something completely different and you're like, what the heck? You're likely wondering where I am and what's up with me. Here you go. That is additionally a reliable sign. All right, next up, number 4. You're always keeping up with the news, but you can't seem to summarize it. This news update just came in after a span of 1 hour. You are forgetting about it. I will reiterate. However, you consistently sit down and watch all the news, but you are unable to do so. Furnish the content of these news promptly, right after the elapse of a 1-hour duration. That is a scientifically established and highly reliable sign of brain death, which is irreversible. You can go ahead. 5th sign. You do not even have the desire to dress up elegantly for the holidays. So you don't care about anything now. I am informing you, even during holidays, it is not desirable to dress nicely by yourself if you don't want to. The 6th sign. Feeling really down. You're missing half your teeth. All right, let's move on. Lucky no 7. You frequently become irritated by insignificant matters. The 8th sign. The previous instance we engaged in reading a book was approximately 3 or 4 years ago from the current moment in time. So books no longer hold any interest for you at all. Despite the abundance of new information in books, the newly experienced feelings are beautifully and poetically expressed through the power of words. And it's also aesthetically pleasing, beautiful. You wrote it, but they do not interest you anymore. This is an unmistakable indication of brain death. Go ahead. Sign number 9. The desire to sit or lie down. And for some, this is already becoming an irresistible desire. To lie down or to sit. Go ahead. You have got a new swagger. This is the 10th sign. She became heavy with small steps. I'll say it again. My walk has changed, and you didn't even notice. She became heavy, meaning you don't walk easily anymore, like athletes do. Athletes, they practically fly, barely touching the ground, while we literally shuffle and crawl on the ground, and our step becomes shorter in length and duration. Moving on, the 11th clue. You rise and lower yourself with the assistance of your hands. You can't even stand up or sit down without help anymore. This is a sure sign that the brain is dying. Go ahead. The sign of the 12th. You are unable to recall the names and surnames of your fellow classmates from memory. Let me reiterate. You are unable to recall the names and surnames of your classmates. Maybe you still have them. Keep in mind, but when you lay eyes on them, you are unable to recollect the name or surname of your fellow students. Next, we move on to the 13th clue. You exist solely based on your established habits, and you have no desire to modify anything in your life. That was the 13th sign. Sign number 14. Your mood is consistently negative because of that particular reason. You always experience some kind of pain in different areas of your body. And the 15th sign. He's really bummed out. 15th sign. You're starting to have more and more complaints about everyone around you. In them, you're seeking the guilty ones. And you feel like you're no longer needed by anyone. You see? Here you go. Please make sure to remember these 15 signs that have been thoroughly checked. They discuss symptoms using scientific and precise language. Oh, dependable indications of your brain ceasing to function. Why is it that you do not perceive or detect the quiet signals of your brain that are telling me that something is wrong and require attention? I will assume leadership. This conversation is to some extent conducted on behalf of your brain, specifically representing your intellect and cognitive abilities. Pay close attention to what I'm about to say, because when I penned these words, tears welled up in my eyes. When we transformed it to digital format, that is printed, there were tears in our eyes as well, just like you. And I believe you will also be surprised. You can state that it is not a conversation. These were the ultimate words spoken by a brain that was on the verge of ceasing to exist. Give me your full attention. The brain unequivocally declares that you lack the ability to solve your problems on your own, without any external aid or assistance from others. What prevented me from helping you? There are various reasons for this that should be taken into account. So I am speaking on behalf of an intellect that is in the process of dying. I will repeat the question. You cannot solve your problems on your own.
Why was I unable to assist you? The primary reason for my inability.
You were excessively poisoned by false information, and false information originated from individuals who spread misinformation. You have betrayed, or you have attached excessive significance to the viewpoints of others, and you have contaminated me with your perspective. Strangers, you didn't have your own opinion. You poisoned me with the opinions of strangers who were absolutely unnecessary to you. What was the cause for your action?
It was an error on your part. The second reason for this situation.
The second reason is that you have worked excessively on the internet. You have dispersed and accumulated a wide range of information that was challenging to analyze, process, and give any recommendation for. This abundance of diverse information made it difficult to draw meaningful conclusions or provide actionable insights based on the data collected. So, I reiterate once again, you are unable to solve your own problems, and I, your intellect, could not help you because you attach too much importance to the opinions of others. And I, your intellect, could not provide you with the necessary recommendation due to the excessive significance you placed on the viewpoints of others. And secondly, you were too scattered. You provided an excessive amount of diverse information that couldn't be connected, and as a result, I was unable to give you a recommendation. That is the reason why you were unable to solve your own problems by yourself without any external assistance. Secondly, the brain operates continuously. Specifically, the intellect operates without pause, and overall, all three brain segments operate without interruption, merely altering the mode of functioning between wakefulness and sleep states of consciousness. Throughout the day, the brain functions independently, actively seeking information and energy from the universe through alpha rhythms during the practice of meditation or prayer. So the brain itself discovers new information, and along with it comes fresh energy through the alpha rhythms of an awake person, but not just when he sits and stares at pictures or watches TV, but also when he engages in meditation or performs a prayer, thus experiencing a heightened state of consciousness and tapping into the profound potential of the mind. This is proven by science. It is in the works of Bektereva. Search for her articles. Following. At night, the brain also operates, but in a different way or mode. During the nighttime, the brain also acquires fresh information, and as a result, new energy, but through different brain rhythms, specifically through the rhythms known as delta rhythms. Delta rhythms gather valuable information and energy from the surrounding space of the world, acquiring knowledge and power. Hence, sleep during the night is highly productive. You can make significant discoveries at night, like Mendeleev's discovery of his table, the periodic system, for example. While sleeping, you have the ability to create music in your mind. A melody spontaneously comes to you. Throughout the night while sleeping, you receive insights on how to invent various motor devices, such as a sewing machine, a machine tool, or any other similar invention. It all comes at night, because during the delta rhythms, the brain consistently gathers information and energy from the space of the world, ensuring a continuous flow of vital data and resources. Therefore, you should not have violated the mode of operation of the intellect in any way. You have disrupted my mode of operation of intellect. You haven't thought about the need to create conditions for the work of intelligence. You disregarded this, and here is the result. Now I, your intellect, commence to deteriorate and fade away. Next, but now I, your intelligence, feel very bad. I comprehend that I am initiating the process of dying, but kindly pay attention to my faint and gentle whisper. I reiterate, please calmly listen attentively to my soft and gentle whispering voice. No one will hear my soft whisper. I will not betray your trust or divulge your secret. Never. Nonetheless, I must warn you that if you do not make changes to your lifestyle, your self-esteem will inevitably decline. And this decline in self-esteem will ultimately pave the way for the onset of depression. By undergoing medication treatment, you will completely eradicate and eliminate all the protective mechanisms of your own body. You will experience the process of dying in two separate and sequential stages. The initial one is the process of dying first as a personality, and the second one is the phenomenon of physical dying as a living being. I, your brain, your intellect, cease to exist before you do. But be aware that I am proud of the fact that I have consistently been by your side, supporting your intellect. We were inseparable, even though you showed very little concern or interest in me and had minimal trust in me. Our bond remained unbreakable. I regret that I, your intelligence, was unable to assist you in achieving, doing, so that you would accomplish such a significant result that all of your descendants would admire and be grateful for the valuable and remarkable outcome that it would bring to their lives. I express my sincerest apologies for this. That is the way it is. I provided an explanation for why you are unable to perceive the quiet signals of discomfort from your brain that indicate I feel bad. And your intelligence has supplied you with the reasons behind this feeling of unease. And he provided you with recommendations on what actions to take. And he made predictions about what would happen to you in the future when the intelligence, which is a vital part of your brain, becomes ineffective.
So what is insomnia? Insomnia is not when you consume an excessive amount of food and are unable to sleep. Insomnia is a disruption of the fundamental biorhythms of the body. So you have violated something. You have violated fundamental biorhythms associated with nature, with your behavior, with his work, with his inability, and as before. They said in ancient times, with their stupidity. So insomnia is a condition that occurs due to the desynchronization of biorhythms, not only in the brain, but also in the entire body as a whole. I'll repeat it again. Insomnia is the result of desynchronization of brain biorhythms. The body as a whole is anarchy of biorhythms. Why can it arise? And here clinicians already know it. Enumerated the conditions under which insomnia occurs. Well, the information I discovered, I will now provide to you, even though, as a physiologist, I hold the belief that these are not the most significant factors. So why does insomnia occur? Clinicians believe that these are bad sleep conditions. What is this circulatory disorder? What is this disorder? The act of breathing involves experiencing strong emotional tension and physical discomfort, which can be challenging to cope with. I don't want to argue, but let's just say all this is nonsense. I communicated to you the primary cause of insomnia is this is a violation of the fundamental biorhythms of the holistic organism and each system in our body. The brain possesses its own biorhythms, blood circulation possesses its own biorhythms, the immune system possesses its own, the hormonal system possesses its own, and so on. Understood? And when this is violated, and to a great extent, serious disruption, that is when insomnia happens. Not due to that, but due to bad sleep conditions. Not from this. This is already, well, like a side effect.